Hello and welcome to the Building an Indie Business podcast with SupremeRumHam. I'm your host, Alex. How you doing today? Today, I wanted to discuss my failed post to HackerNews. Wah, wah, wah. I wanted to discuss why I think it failed, and when I say failed, I mean it got zero traffic. What I usually do, why I changed it up, and what I plan to do in the future. But first, I want to discuss some general podcast things. The Patreon page. If you get value out of this podcast, you can support the Patreon page, and all that money will go to the hosting and the editing of the podcast, so it goes straight back into the podcast. What you get from hosting or from supporting the Patreon page, you get the early episodes or the episodes early. So I record on Friday and the episodes are released on Monday. So I will post the episodes as soon as I'm done recording them straight to Patreon. So if you support the Patreon page, you can listen to Monday's episode on Friday. And along with that, you at the very least get a shout out on the podcast, and the next tier is a shout out and your name in the show notes, and then the next tier is a shout out, free access to anything I create, early access, and you'll get your name in the show notes. So if you guys get value, please support the Patreon page. Alright, so let's get into today's episode. Why I think my post failed on Hacker News is just bad timing. I posted the link on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the reason I did this was because I was thinking that people would read the article during their commute. People who ride buses or trains, or people who commute and don't drive. What I usually do is I wait till Saturday, and I post it at 6 a.m. again. And I've had decent results from doing this. I post my finance articles. So my article about the music industry or the podcast industry, I posted both of those on Hacker News at 6 a.m. and I've gotten decent traffic from them. Okay. So why I changed it up this time is because I wanted the article to have a link to the podcast episode at the bottom of the article, so that people would read the article and then scroll to the bottom and click on the episode and maybe listen to the podcast also. But that didn't work out in the case of Hacker News. So what I plan to do in the future is stick to Saturday, because it really doesn't make a difference when I get the traffic, just as long as I get the traffic. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or episode ideas, anything you want to hear about from me, tweet me, email me. Those are always in the show notes. I also created a Twitter page for the podcast, so I will update you guys like when episodes are released through Twitter as well, so you can follow that account as well. I will link to that. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. Bye.